I have always loved art. Art is full of possibilities. From dance and music and literature, it's brimming with creativity and individualism. In fact, when I was younger, I didn't want to be an astronaut or a princess. I wanted to be an artist, because that meant I could paint my way out of an ivory tower. I could launch myself into space with a red and orange and yellow palette. I could create whatever world I wanted to be in, and there was nothing to stop me. Then we were told to really think about what we wanted to be, and words like medicine and doctor jumped through my mind. Writing by itself wouldn't be enough. 3 years ago, I got involved in an organization called First Story. This meant that I could write creatively every week with a real writer and see my work published in an anthology at the end of the year. First Story taught me that writing could be something I could do, and A Quilt of Stars is something that I wrote to show the world that I wanted to write from a perspective that wasn't from an outside, because so many of the reportings of international issues are done from an outside perspective, and I wanted to write from someone who had actually suffered. So I'd like to share with you A Quilt of Stars. All I know of childhood is that I spent mine patching holes in the sky, my small bruised hands working endlessly, not knowing the worth of the golden threads of galaxies and nebulas I wove. My star-pricked fingers bled constellations, and sometimes, if you looked carefully, you could see the blinking patterns that had seeped into the seams, into the creases of my sleeves. Every night, bustling bystanders would gather. In awe, they tossed coins into a rusting tin. They would bring me stories, and I would collect them as if they were the roads to a hidden world, a fleet of shooting stars to wish upon. I carried them across my back, hunched over by their weight, for the rest of the street's children, for we drunk in the stars that night and slept with the moon by our side. Time seams had split, and I looked up, absorbed by the skies above me, where children, sad and abandoned, gazed into the night for some kind of solace, and their gaze had burned holes. Their eyes were like mine. They bore the touch of the universe and held it as if it were the moon, and in their innocence brushed away the sliver of tears that fell, and ignored the deep grooves they left behind. I beheld the sky with awe, traced the slightly raised edges where our needles had set to work, and found a lump forming in my throat for a thin little girl who mended skies. I mourned for the girl who adored the myriad of people, the sweet smiles and humming whispers, for she thought they were the world and its fragments, but she didn't realize she fashioned entire worlds within her tiny hands. However, she quickly grew to resent the foreign accents and pitiful glances, the hands that squeezed her cheek too hard and the bright lights of cameras. And she would listen with weary ears as they promised that everything was going to change. And she would notice the grimace as they would press her filthy body to theirs and pat her back, but then they turned and walked away and left her with only the bright light of cameras burning behind her eyes, and they faded into nothingness. And for the first time in my life I thought, why does she just have to be able to mend the sky? Thank you.